go ahead and give it a try. Give me one moment here. Let's see what we got. Okay, there. And don't worry, Journey. Everything does seem to be in order. But yeah, how can I help you?
Having a very hard time, still experiencing for 10 years now what I would consider calling electronic harassment. And it's getting to be extremely difficult to deal with. I've experienced it on numerous devices, all of my cell phones, all of my computers, even my home landline. It's just unbelievable. And I am not sure it's not your company, to be honest. But so let me explain. I am trying to get a rental here in Florida. I'm in Florida now, and I go on the internet on the smartphone and I look up rentals, and the price literally changes in front of my eyes. Sometimes it seems too good to be true, but as soon as I go for it, it always changes on multiple platforms, on multiple apps, on multiple phone calls, on multiple emails, even talking to my mother via text. It seems as though somebody is intercepting the call and perpetrating as if they were my mother, as if they were the operator, as if they were the person trying to rent me a home, as if they were any of the apps I call, as if they were Metro PCS. Do you understand the problem if any of what I'm saying is in fact real? It's incredibly problematic to feel like, and this, I've felt like this for over 10 years now, and I've got tons of experience dealing with this, and it's just overwhelming. Because I want to be able to pay for a phone so I can talk to my parents. Not so I doubt not being able to talk to my parents. I want to be able to pay for a phone so that I can talk to my friends, not having to doubt that I'm talking to my friends. And that's what happens through the texts or whatever. And of course, it's so ridiculous, but I'm intuitive enough to see it, and I don't like that kind of scam, I don't, and it has to do with money. It has to do with getting my credit card information. It has to do with, oh, what do you want today? Can we be of service to you? Yeah, I want what I want, not what you want me to want. Do you understand?
I understand. But yeah, those sorts of, it does sound like a very, very serious issue. You say that, well, this has been happening for a long, long time, right?
Yes, sir. Over 10 years. Not just on Metro PCS. Not just on Samsung. Not just on Mac. Not just on Facebook. Not just on YouTube. Not just on multiple apps. Not just in email. Not just with Verizon and AT&T and LG and Charter Spectrum Internet and Voice. But there are some consistencies to it, which is why I actually think it's one organization. Now, there's multiple people involved, but it does seem like something criminal. And the problem there is I can't seem to solve it because I usually have to rely on my phone to solve it. In other words, if I'm trying to call a lawyer or file a class action lawsuit, I've got to rely on my phone or my computer or, even a library phone library computer or whatever. I have not experienced that kind of problem on a library computer. I was in a library computer today. But to be blunt and honest, I did experience something problematic while I was searching on the library computer for a rental that I desperately need. I'm stuck at a hotel right now, and it's draining my bank account, and I need to move out to a more affordable rental. So I was looking at the local library, and I got a few things done, but before I could accomplish much of anything, this strange man approached me and sidetracked me. Now that's strange, but it's not easily stated that that has anything to do with electronic harassment, because he's obviously not a computer. He's obviously not on the other side of the screen. But it was still an issue. Now, maybe it's linked. I don't know. I feel like a targeted individual all the time, and I'm not paranoid. I'm more interested in just figuring out why I can't get done what I'm trying to get done.
Don't worry, don't worry. Yeah, under these extreme cases, I do like to do.
I've reported multiple issues over a 10-year period to lots of different organizations. I've tried my best to solve this problem many, many, many times, and it's still going on. And I can try to give you more details, but I don't know if that will help to solve it. And honestly, at the beginning of this call too, I got cut off twice. And then finally I was like, okay, called up the robot for Metro PCS. I said, yeah, cancel my account. And then I got you on the phone immediately. Before I got you on the phone, I got cut off 4 times calling somebody to help me with a rental. And the first person I talked to was nice, but right before we could get to anything, to accomplish anything, the phone line cut off. And then I called back, was frustrated. After 3 recorded messages and 3 tries, finally got through to another person. You know what? The person that answered the phone sounds exactly like a Metro PCS representative that I talked to over and over again when I called to talk about Metro PCS stuff. And that's weird, And not every Filipino has the exact same voice. And I've had the same experience with Charter Spectrum Internet and voice. I call them up and I'm saying, I'm being frauded. Somebody's trying to get my my credit card information. Somebody's, messing with me on the phone. Somebody's hassling me. Somebody's harassing me. Somebody told me I won so much money that they're the federal gaming agent. They stated they're a federal agent, and that I won a bunch of money, and then I have to pay for the shipping charge for the money, and he wanted to meet me in a van so that I could give him $500 cash. Of course that's a scam, but it's those kind of things over and over and over again, and I literally can't get in touch with the things that I wish to purchase. Do you see how much of a problem that is? I can get involved with scams. I can be ripped off. I can be framed for things. I can be extorted. I can be frauded. I can be prank called. I can be scammed. I can be called by who knows what. And I can call who I think I'm calling, but then I don't get in touch with who I think I'm calling most of the time. So I honestly feels like somebody has hacked my entire communication system for over 10 years. That's why I think it's an organized crime thing. Now, I don't know. I don't know if it's Charter. I don't know who it is. But it does seem like there are links to the phone system and the internet system. It also seems relative to specifically YouTube, specifically Facebook. The email isn't so bad. It seems to work. Sometimes I can get through to my friends and it seems to be fine, but there is a consistent problem going on. So I needed to report that.
Don't worry. Johnny, under these extreme circumstances, because this is one of those...
I have called the FBI. I have called a private detective. I have called the police station. I have called multiple lawyers. And the story behind that is the same kind of thing happens. I had a lawyer said he'd take my case pro bono and come back mid-month to talk about moving forward with the case. I came back mid-month like he told me, and he was nowhere to be found. So then
Okay.
I was like, okay, where's this guy? So I called and left a message, and I called the next day and left a message, and I went back to his office the next day, and he wasn't there, and I called the next day and left a message. A year went by. After a year of calling this guy and stopping by his office, because he told me he would take my case, I called a private detective. You know what happened the next day? He magically appeared in his office.
Wow.
So something freaking
man.
crazy. It's worse than the
Yeah.
Matrix, although the good news is there's no guns involved. It's not
That's
been
good.
violent to any extent. It always has to do with control. It always has to do with controlling the communication and making sure that my money ends up in the hands of the people who want it, not the hands of the people I want to put it in, which is
Yeah,
a
under these
serious
circumstances-
problem.
Oh,
And I honestly, sir,
Yeah.
I think it's a broader problem than just my case. I've been researching this for over 10 years as well, because of course it affected me, but I've noticed it's affecting a critical mass of people. And they're going by the hashtag targeted individuals. Now, I have no criminal record, and most of the targeted individuals I talk to, for example, Catherine Horton, she's a particle physicist out of Switzerland, and she has a techno crime fighter show because she's been targeted year after year after year by who she claims are Nazis. To be blunt, I do believe, and I have proof, but it's not 100%, that it is a Nazi organization. In part because I've been targeted by that, and my grandparents were actually literally killed in Nazi Germany in Auschwitz. Now, that was a long time ago, but the point, my grandparents' parents, but the point is, it does seem to be an ongoing thing. And it's prevalent in politics, and I've been elected a Green Party delegate. You know what happened after I got elected a Green Party delegate? We got ballot access for the Green Party in North Carolina. You know what happened before that? The Buncombe County Green Party got disbanded against my vote. You know what happened after we got ballot access? The people who represented the Green Party as authority figures completely changed the bylaws, going completely against all the values that the Green Party stands for, that I've been working for wholeheartedly and volunteering for since 1991. Talk about control. Every level of every system has been infiltrated, seemingly. And other than that, there is proof, but usually when I find the proof, I'm steered away from it one way or another. Or if I'm talking to somebody, the phone goes dead. Or if I'm talking to somebody, they don't believe me. And I never get to finish the story. You know, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No, yeah. The important thing is, well, under these circumstances, is to, just move fast. One thing I would like to do on your Metro account to make sure that they don't get in through any method, first of all, would be to set you up with a high security password. When you started this call, you noticed that, well,
sir, the thing is, how does that?
Yeah.
See, the thing is, two things. If I need a password, then that makes it more complicated for me. And I don't believe I need a password because I'm not hacking my own account. My concern is that what's on the other side of the analogy is the wizard on the other side of the curtain is hacking my account. And if he's not, fine, but I've got all these things I've witnessed that don't seem normal. So I'm reporting it. And in you putting a password, it just makes it more complicated for me. When there's more middlemen between me and my food, I can't get food. When there's more middlemen between me and my rental, I can't get a rental. And besides middlemen, price gates and passwords and websites. When in the old days, all I had to do was pick up a phone and call, or go out my door and go across the street to a restaurant. And frankly, that usually is the easiest way to deal with it. So as a cell phone company, do you really want me to quit Metro PCS because it's easier to just give it up? You know,
No,
and
no,
that's the
I wouldn't
issue that
suggest
I
that.
think I want the win-win too. I'm okay with
Well,
working with Metro PCS, but not if I can't get accomplished what I need to get accomplished.
completely get you. So instead of changing your password and you're putting it on another password, what I could also recommend is to activate a certain amount of services. Specifically, you do
Yeah,
have
but all
activated
that is
spam.
either going to cost money or it's going to be more complicated. You see what I
I
mean?
do understand. Okay, in that case, if you don't want to activate the added services, then I would also recommend
Well,
instead of
I mean, relatively speaking, I'm not trying to deny something that might help, but I've been down that path so many times. For
okay,
example, your storefront sold me insurance on my phone. You know what happened when I accidentally spilled a liquid on my phone? Not only would they not help me and hung up on me multiple times, and then I called technical support and they told me to call Samsung, and then I call Samsung and they tell me to call Assurian, and then I call Assurian after I've wasted hour after hour after hours of my time. Fortunately, only about $18. But I did spend that $18, and the good news is one of your Metro PCS's representatives gave me that money back after the fact. But the issue was a problem. I got in touch with Assurian. They said, "Yeah, we can replace your phone. It's $100 deposit." But the person who sold me insurance didn't tell me that. So I was paying $18. Sorry, it's only $6 a month. But after 3 months, I had a problem with my phone, and I thought, okay, I can either get it on warranty because the warranty hadn't run out, or I can have the insurance that I've been paying for 3 months actually help me either fix it or get a different phone. But guess what? They said, no, you have to pay $100 and then we'll send you a replacement phone in the meantime. You have to send us your phone and we'll fix it and then send it back. You know how much of a hassle that is? I was like, forget it. Cancel it. I can't afford $100. I don't need this lack of insurance fraud. And so I did. I canceled it. I came back. I called Metro PCS. I got hung up a couple times, waited on hold a couple times. Finally got through to a really nice lady, and she gave me an $18 refund credit towards my account. And I no longer have insurance on my phone. And she also, another representative helped me clarify, because you know what else the Assurian people told me? Not only did I have to pay $100, but because there was water damage to my phone, my warranty is now void. So there's a double whammy. The fact that I pay for insurance, the fact that I have to pay for it again, the fact that it wasn't insurance, the fact that it didn't replace my phone, and the fact that they told me I've now voided my warranty. So I'm better off
yeah,
not of wasting all that time, not of wasting all that money, and the good news is I was able to solve that dilemma. And my phone actually is working again. So there's no problem with my phone in regards to the water damage. And there's literally it dried up. Okay. So originally when the water spilled on it, it was affecting the speaker. And now it's fine. It's fine now.
that's good to hear. But yeah, well, at the end of the day, if those services aren't enough, aren't convincing you, another thing I can recommend is to actually just go to the Google Play Store and download anti-spyware. There are some of them free, some of them.
But again, sir, I appreciate all that, and you know what? There's an infinite world within the virtual world, but that's the issue that I don't think I have much trust for anymore. I don't trust Google. I don't trust the phone. I don't trust Samsung anymore. I'm doing my best to work with it because it's nice if it works. But to invest more in things that I barely trust, and this has been going on honestly for 20 years. I'm talking about the electronic harassment for 10 years. But in regards to losing trust in the technology, that's been going on for 20 years. It got so bad at one point that I was happier just to smash my phone because it was such a hassle. If I have to battle the technology, then it's not worth it. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, unfortunately, but Journey, well, unfortunately, those are the only options that I can offer you. The other thing that, the other thing I could recommend, or if worse comes to worse, is to actually just change your whole phone number altogether.
Sir, I'm going at the end of.
Don't worry.
I plan on doing that at the end of the 6 months agreement. Now here's the other issue. I signed up with Metro PCS. I bought a brand new phone, and I thought it was month to month. That's what they told me. And then I came back because I was having so many problems with the phone to say, okay, I can't deal with this anymore. I'm ready to switch over to Cricket Mobile. And you know what I found out at Cricket Mobile? I can't turn the phone in with Cricket Mobile because it's not unlocked. I went back to Metro PCS. They said, yeah, that's the fine. They didn't say this literally, but that's the fine print. You cannot unlock your phone for 6 months. So they say it's month to month, but it turns out if you want to unlock your phone, it's 6 months. So that's what I'm waiting for now. At the end of 6 months, when my phone is unlocked, hello, I'm going to switch over.
Yeah. Well, then unfortunately...
Unless you can rescue it. Unless you can fix it. I've had so many problems, though. But you know what's crazy? It's not just Metro PCS.
Yeah. I do apologize, but unfortunately, all the options that are offered you are the only options that we have available. Other than that, what I can recommend is, just to investigate more online to see if there's any piece of service or software that might be convenient to you. But, all those options are always available for you 24/7. All you got to do is pick up the phone, give us a call, and, activate Name ID, change your password, change your phone number. We are here 24/7 if you ever do decide to make any of those choices. But unfortunately, those are the only options that I have.
Can you email me those choices in writing? That would be really helpful. If you've got time to do that, would that be a possibility? What's that?
I do apologize. But unfortunately, we can't send, personalized emails to clients. At the moment,
well, you sure do send me enough text messages. Can you send me a text message?
Yeah, but the text messages we send are pretty much...
And now back to the complaint and the question. Yeah. Are you guys responsible for seriously electronic harassing me on a constant basis? Are you guys responsible for intercepting my phone calls, sending me constant spam and fraud calls, not letting me get in touch with the people I want to get in touch with, making it almost impossible to use the phone, making it feel like hell, trying to just accomplish anything on the phone? Or is that potentially some other entity? And if so, that's what I'm calling to complain about.
Metro does not have access to any of those types of information. At the end of the day, we even encourage to have even more security on your account. But unfortunately, at the moment, those are the options available. If you do have any more doubts or any more questions, you can always give us a call back here. And again, those options are always available.
Could you repeat the options one more time? If you can't send them to me, could you repeat the options one more time?
Okay. You can always put yourself on a high security password. You can activate Name ID, Scam Block, or more services that we have offer for those types of situations. You can always change your phone number or even download applications from the Google Play Store. Again, all these options are always available for you. All you gotta do, is call in and ask for assistance to activate them. But for now, once again, my name was Michael. Thank you so much for being part of Metro by T-Mobile, and thank you so much for the call.
Hello?
Go right ahead.
I thought you hung up.
Go right ahead.
What was your What was your ID number?
My ID is 30846.
Okay, and is there anything you can do besides your word, and I'm happy to take your word before you hang up, that Metro PCS is not the one responsible for the issues that I'm having?
No, don't worry. Metro PCS has terms and service on the website. They are a little bit long, but it all details of what we're allowed and not allowed to do by law. At the end of the day, if you do see something that you don't find comfortable or something you don't like, that's what the terms of service are for. If you don't like it, you just don't sign it, and you move on. But again, we don't have any authorization to do any type of harassment to our
right. And I understand that kind of terms and service. I haven't read the whole thing, but I also see that with Google. The issue with
Yeah,
Google, I've tried to work around them. What's really
yeah,
frustrating is when I can't work around something. And in
I don't
regards to
understand.
being able not being able to work around something, that's where I have to have this kind of connection. So I appreciate you guys
Right.
picking up the phone, talking this through, because without the personal connection, the terms and services are basically meaningless, honestly. I need a personality to be accountable. I need that more so than a written piece of paper or a recorded message or a robocall or something like that.
Yeah,
And in
yeah, no,
regards to Google, similar issues, but we live in America. Americans deserve a buffet of choices. It was supposed to be illegal for a monopoly to take over, but I've realized that there's a lot of ways around that. For example, public utilities are pretty much monopolies. And that's a problem. But I realize you're not a monopoly because I can quit Metro PCS and go to another phone company. And you know what? That's in a part why two things why I'm still with Metro. You guys have a 24-hour customer service. You guys have been pretty nice for the most part when I literally talk to somebody. And um, what was I going to say? Anyway, thank you. I appreciate your time and I hope you have a good night.
don't worry. Thank you so much for the call. Well, as well, have a very nice night.
Good night.